Wow, the market surged to new highs. But is it a sign of danger? Let's check out this week's Trade Your Way to Freedom video to see what these indexes might be doing. Let's go. We want to take a look at what's going on with the indexes. That's where we're going to start. So let's jump over to the charts. This is a very interesting chart, Neil. We've got our daily on the right. We've got our weekly on the left. Oftentimes, when prices are working within a channel, such as we have right now, when prices break out above the channel, that can be a huge warning sign. You remember some of the IBD stuff talks about when a stock is going up in a channel and it breaks above the channel, oftentimes it foretells that we're going to get a pullback and in very short order. So that's when it's going to happen here? I don't know. On the S&Ps, we do not have a reversal signal per se. At the same time, though, we are reaching extremes on our momentum indicators, both the weekly and on the daily. I've got a negative divergence going on there, especially in the TSI, as price action continues to push higher. The other thing that this market reminds me of, Anil, is the 2004 market, where it seemed like the S&P and the indexes just kept going higher and higher. They do a 2 or 3 day pullback, and then they launch higher. And so the ebbs and flows were really close, but it definitely talks to the surge of a higher watermark on the indexes. So on the S&P, that's what we're looking at. The other thing that I'm taking a look at is on the S&P and the NASDAQ, because they are weighted indexes. I think the top 10 stocks on the NASDAQ actually contributes about 50% of the dollar volume or value of the NASDAQ. I think that's the proper number. And any hiccup on those top 10 could send the NASDAQ down, but we're not ready for the NASDAQ yet. So what do you think about the S&P, Neil? Like I said, I have nothing to do with it until we get some kind of either a pullback. It can continue to push higher.
It looks strong on my triple screen system. Its signal on daily came on 11, that's November the 3rd, and it's still on.
Okay.
And it's nicely above the EMA 20. So far, so good.
So taking a look at the Russell, as represented by the IWM, the Russell has lagged the rest of the markets, as we know, for a large amount of time. It has basically been the redheaded stepchild of the indexes, but it has finally broken out of this little triangle here. How far is it going to go? One could make a case for it's probably going to get back up to the past highs here, about the 205 level. If it breaks that, it may get up to the 212 level. What are some of the things that could influence the Russell and IWM? If inflation continues to fall and it becomes more clear that perhaps the Fed's going to start lowering rates, that could propel the small caps into a larger move. What I'm looking at, this is really a nice thing. As we see, we were in a trading range here. We came down halfway in the trading range. Now, oftentimes, this is a very bullish sign. When it comes down approximately halfway or just sticks, it comes down, but then fails to go lower and starts to rebound. That is oftentimes a strong bullish signal. And if we break out of there, watch for it to continue to ramp up. We're getting some really nice moves on IWM right now. And so we'll see what happens from there. Curtis mentioned the volume is dropping on increasing price. Yeah, we do watch that. And that goes along with the negative divergence, which kind of makes you go, you can't do anything yet, but you're ready for it just in case. We're getting really good comments about us doing face-to-face. And today's face-to-face, I think, is a really special topic. And so let's jump into that right now. Neil, let's ask the question with Mark Douglas's map in hand. I know you like Mark Douglas as I do. He
Yep.
made a statement one time. He said, and we're going to share a little bit of secrets about the long forgotten, maybe simple strategies that Mark talks about. He basically said, become a master of one particular pattern and master it. And Anil, from your perspective, is that good advice, bad advice? What are the benefits if you take that advice?
As long as the strategy is good, and there are many different strategies that are good, because like you said, market gives opportunities, it just keeps on giving opportunities, and our way is to seize it. But as long as the strategy is good, yes, you can master that strategy, and usually it gets you good results. And Mark Minervini says the same thing. Says you don't have to learn too many things, just learn one or two and master that,
Yeah.
and get the results. And in
Yeah.
my case, it's been triple screen, and I'm digging deeper and deeper into it, and it gets very rewarding.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. We run into new traders all the time. And I think, excuse me, but engineers are the absolute worst because they're really intelligent and bright, but they figure, they look at a system and they go, I can fix it. I can make it better. Now, in some cases, that is the case, but you don't really need to do that to make a heck of a lot of profits by just following a very simple system. I think it was Leonardo da Vinci who actually said, never turn your nose up at the sophistication of simplicity. And that's what I believe in. And that's why that resonated with me so much that what Mark Douglas said and what I've tried to do is in providing a clear and simple approach to swing trading success. I think if a person runs into trouble with their trading, they need to start peeling back what they've added to their system to get back to the basics. Get back to the basics of what you're doing. Yeah, I agree with what Mark says, Neil. And does it benefit a person? Yeah, because I think traders oftentimes think that in order to be successful, they need more knowledge. Gaining knowledge may bring satisfaction, but the real payoff is in applying the knowledge, practicing the knowledge, doing your simulation on your trading. That's where fulfillment and success really comes from. And then the other thing is, this really hit me this week, and is, did you know that successful people typically never really bother themselves with the results? They don't focus on results. They focus on becoming a master of the process. So to me, that means keep it simple. If I'm going to master a process, I want it to be as simple as possible. You got anything else, Anil? Anything else come to mind?
Yeah, and mastering the process, again, I picked it up from Minervini, and I'm digging further and further, is I think the basic understanding of batting average and risk reward ratio, and know it continuously so that it's in your face performance review.
Right on.
It just tells you where you are. And if you study it, you know exactly where you need to work on.
And Deming, you remember Deming said that what measured always improves. The next entity that I'm going to look at, which is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ performs on average better than any of the other indexes. And so I like to trade TQQ and SQQ. Those are leverage ETFs. And I put in a little bit different perception on this chart today, Anil, is I went back and I basically measured up the monthly, which was from this high to this low. We have breaking out over 100%. Where's it likely to go? If you watch Fibonacci's, you know that the 1272 and the 1618 tend to be good upside targets once you've broken out of a range. And that's what we've done. And so that gives us an upside target on the Qs up about 127 right here. And that's 450.72. And if it breaks that, it increases the probability it's going to go on up to 504.16. Now, is it going to go straight up there? Are we going to get some kind of a pullback? I'm going to be looking for pullbacks as it's done. It's respected very nicely, the 20-day and the 50-day moving average. So it wouldn't be surprising to see a pull back into the 20-day moving average, or maybe drop a little bit lower than that. But right now, even though it is showing the volume is coming off, it is still heading up with no signal from a candlestick perspective that it's going to reverse. So that's what we've got on the indexes, Neil. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, IWM, I think quietly and slowly coming up. That's what my system is telling me. It's an interesting situation. As a matter of fact, the daily signal came today, and weekly has been on, and monthly is looking good. So I think it's very quietly, without telling us, but steadily it's coming up.
Okay, so you think it's like, what? It's just being
Sneaky.
But-
The monthly signal actually came last month.
okay. What about the NASDAQ and the Qs?
Now, NASDAQ is just looking very strong, actually.
Yeah, without a doubt. Did you know that most of the big gains are simply following a system with an edge, like the AutoPilot Trading System? But you know what? What I found oftentimes is some of the bigger wins that we have, or bigger gains, it's basically just we followed the rules, followed the system, followed the routine, and we just got in the way, because you can never tell which one of the stocks is really going to take off. So it's a matter of just getting in the way and then hanging on for the ride. And that's exactly what we've done. As you can see by where that chart is going, I'm really pleased. We're halfway through February, and we're already up about almost 12% for the year. Now, a question that I'm asked often is this 11% or 12% off of just in particular trades, or is that for the whole portfolio? That covers the whole portfolio. That's how I measure how well we're doing from a P&L standpoint. Simplicity is the key to brilliance in trading. This was the slide that I prepared specifically for today with what we were going to be talking about from Mark Douglas. And in your quest for trading, consider these pivotal questions. Have you ever felt like you're just one insight away from unlocking consistent profits? What if you could take a trial on a system designed to streamline your path? The people who have been with us for quite some time, they know how streamlined the AutoPilot trading service is. Check out this particular opportunity. I will put a link in the description, also in the pinned comments. Imagine the transformation you're going to have. So seize this chance, start your 3-month test flight, and navigate towards mastery with us. Your journey begins now, and there's the link. It's time to begin your journey. If today's Odyssey has sparked your flame within you, let us help you grow. There'll be a link here to take a look at a Tesla video that I just did that shows you some of the downside projections of where I think Tesla might go. I think you'll find it very interesting at how cheap in the future you may be able to buy Tesla. Remember, the market secrets are reserved for those who seek simplicity. I want to remind everybody that all the materials we do present are for training purposes. Traders should always pay for trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication or a promise of future performance.